Tonight on Texas News Primetime, a hostage situation at a South Austin home kills an APD officer and 2 victims with another officer in stable condition.
University of Texas students launched a walkout from classes Thursday afternoon in support of Palestinians.
UT Minister of Culture Matthew McConaughey spoke with U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy on campus over mental health and loneliness affecting students.
A 3-week-long event in Austin gives free tours to the public of multiple art studios around the community supporting local artists.
The annual First Generation College Celebration took place last week in the main mall as the first generation student population continues to grow. This is Texas News Primetime.
News made for Longhorns. Good evening and welcome. My name is Medha Serene.
And I'm Raiyan Sheikh. We begin with the sad news of a death of an Austin police officer this past Saturday. Senior Officer Jorge Pastore was killed in a gunfire exchange after responding to a 911 call that reported a stabbing on Saturday morning. According to the Austin Police Department, officers entered the home at 4:15 a.m., leading to the suspect to open fire, resulting in Pastore and another officer being shot. APD said there were 2 dead civilians found at the home. The suspect also died from their injuries. According to the Austin Police Association Memorial website, this marks the first instance of an officer being shot and killed on duty since 2012. Over 1,000 UT students and community members gathered in a walkout in support of Palestine on Thursday afternoon. The walkout, which was organized by the Palestinian Solidarity Committee, took place outside the Gregory Gym despite the pouring rain. Students left class to gather at the protest, and an estimated 1,200 attendees chanted for the end of the occupation in Gaza and aid to Israel before marching to the UT main mall. The walkout was part of a national walkout held by Students for Justice in Palestine chapters around the country. Diwali celebrations will take place at the Tower Main Mall this Wednesday from 6:30 to 10:30. The event, put on by the Hindu Student Association, was rescheduled from last week due to weather concerns. The free event will feature educational booths and food, sparklers, performances, and a dance party. Diwali is a traditionally Hindu celebration known as the Festival of Lights. This past Wednesday, UT held its National First Gen Day celebration at the main mall as a part of First Gen Week. Primetime reporter Jasmine Palacios spoke to several first-generation students at the event.
I'm here at UT's First Gen Day celebration at the main mall, where there's lots of food, games, and music.
This event open to all first-gen Longhorns and supporters. Almost 10,000 currently enrolled students at UT will be the first in their family to complete a degree.
I'm here with Maria at the event, and I'm here to ask her, what does it mean to be a first-gen student here at UT?
To me, it means breaking barriers and creating a pathway for the future.
I'm very grateful just knowing how my parents were raised and the opportunities that they weren't given. I'm really grateful that they worked really hard to get me here.
It means the world to like my family and myself, and it just means building a generational wealth and opportunity for my family and like our future generation.
The celebration also included free UT gear and picture opportunities, along with guest speakers like Michelle Shanks, UT's director of the Center for Leadership and Learning.
We are a talented and hardworking bunch of folks, but we are also incredibly good looking while doing it.
Junior graphic design major Giselle spoke on her advice to future first-gen college students.
I would just say, take advantage of everything because there's so many resources and opportunities that UT really offers, especially to first gen. And, just showing up to every event, showing up to everything that is offered to you is, really the best advice that I can give you. And as well, don't be afraid. I understand, being first gen, there's so much things that we don't know. And, our parents, we can't go to them and ask them. But there's so many people here at UT that really just want to help.
UT First Gen events are all week long, and First Gen resources are available all year round. I'm Jasmine Palacios with tstvnews.
U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy and UT Minister of Culture Matthew McConaughey spoke at the Union as part of Murthy's We Are Made to Connect college tour. Murthy said that we are in a loneliness epidemic and stressed the importance of relationships. He also promoted his 5 for 5 challenge, in which students do 5 connection-building activities in 5 days. At the end, President Jay Hartzell gave Murthy a custom UT football jersey. The Division Division of Student Affairs announced a startup crawl, which will be Wednesday, November 29th from 7 to 9 p.m. at the WCP. Meet the students, departments, and organizations responsible for the rich entrepreneurship community. The crawl opens at 7, followed by the workshop at 7:30 in the auditorium, and networking on the 3rd floor. The mission of this event is to highlight particularly female and minority founders. There will be 50-plus booths over the 3 floors. The festival centered all on food is coming back to Austin this weekend. The Austin Food Fest is showcasing local restaurants, local cafes, food trucks, and more. Outside of the food, there will be plenty of fun. Live bands, games, and contests will be going from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. The event will take place at Republic Square this Saturday. Austin Fashion Week brought fashion lovers together for their 15th annual showcase this weekend. PrimeTime reporter Kimberly Andrade took a look at the event and spoke to fashion lovers attending the event.
Hello, Longhorns. This past weekend, Austin Fashion Week hosted their 15th annual showcase, which brought all fashion lovers together to celebrate the creativity and work of rising fashion designers and models.
I was introduced to the team at the Austin Area Urban League, and they came with me and said, we're going to figure out a way to scholarship Black designers, and we're going to find a way to give them access and give them opportunities that they wouldn't have otherwise. And that's where we are, and that's this show.
Fashion means to me is like a form of creative way to show how I like to be dressed and like to show different creative outlets of what I have. And I think it's also like a form of self-care, putting like clothes and changing, like find out what pieces fit great with your outfit.
Austin Fashion Week is the 4th largest fashion week concept in the United States and showcases the designs of approximately 50 designers each season. Austin Fashion Week's main goal is to highlight the work of women of color and increase the diversity within the fashion industry and community. Along with showcasing over 50 designers, Austin Fashion Week helps promote small businesses by having 10 to 15 pop-ups displayed around the event site. Year after year, the team behind Austin Fashion Week has worked hard to provide a platform for all designers and models and will continue to do so as the years go by.
As you can see, Austin Fashion Week is not only an outlet for people to express their love of fashion, but it has highlighted the work of many underrepresented designers and models. I'm Kimberly Andrade with TSTV News. Until next time.
Few days have been very busy for Texas politics. Here to give a brief overview of what happened is Ariba Barmel.
On Tuesday, the Texas legislature started their 4th special session and made progress on some of Governor Greg Abbott's main priorities of education and border security. On Thursday, House lawmakers held a marathon hearing on a bill to put billions of dollars into public schools. The bill also established education saving accounts, or ESAs, of $10,500. The bill was sent to a House vote on Friday, and the Senate passed their version of the ESA bill late Thursday night. Texas senators also passed Senate Bill 4, which creates a state crime for crossing the border illegally. Senate Bill 4 is now headed to the House. An election day took place last Tuesday, and Texas voters passed 13 of 14 constitutional amendments. Some notable ones include Proposition 4, which creates an $18 billion property tax cut, Propositions 6, 7, and 8, which create infrastructure funds for water, energy, and broadband respectively, and Proposition 9, which increases pension checks for some retired teachers. Proposition 13, which was the only rejected proposition, would have allowed for judges to retire at a later age. And for more on the special session and the constitutional amendment election, stay tuned after primetime. Tonight, we are relaunching Tower Talks, a long-form political show where we will take a closer look at political topics. We will be talking about the special session and the election later tonight. Before we get into the state of modern media, the show includes panelists knowledgeable about the media from a wide variety of perspectives and a sit-down interview, so stay tuned.
Thanks for that, Ariba. When we come back, we'll talk about recent humanitarian pauses in the ongoing Israel-Hamas war, a new third-party Instagram app voicing privacy concerns, and updates to the ongoing Canada and India tensions.
13 of the 48 club sports offered by the university now require students to submit proof of sex assigned at birth.
I know deep down they would probably want to stay with the university.
No way in hell anybody's going to tell my daughters what to do with their bodies.
This state is one of the worst in child education.
We can't take it anymore, seeing those scenes.
Going to Hillel on Friday night, all my family members kept texting me not to go.
There's a huge housing crisis in Austin. Do you have a plan in place to address this issue?
Determined to start your day well? We're up bright and early. From the enriching local stories to the weather forecast later in the day. Rain or shine, at Good Morning Longhorns, we got you covered. Comprised of a studious reporting staff going lengths to get that scoop, and a talented technical team to enhance your screen visually. As a fellow Longhorn, your mornings are better with us. So start your day the Vivo way. Good Morning Longhorns, Wednesdays at 7 a.m. Central Time on TSTV.
Israel has agreed to allow daily 4-hour pauses from fighting to allow humanitarian aid to Gaza. The agreement to this pause by the Israeli government was due to a call from President Biden to Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. President Biden has also requested a 3-day ceasefire in order to facilitate hostage negotiations. In a Thursday interview with Fox News, Netanyahu said, "The fighting continues against the Hamas enemy, the Hamas terrorists, but in specific locations for a given period, a few hours here, a few hours there. We want to facilitate a safe passage of civilians away from the zone of fighting, and we're doing that." Hollywood strikes are over, with the actors' strike coming to an end last week. The Screen Actors Guild American Federation of Television and Radio Artists has reached a 3-year deal valued at over $1 billion with studios and streaming services. This deal includes protections against AI use in Hollywood and is currently awaiting approval by SAG-AFTRA's board and members. The strike officially ended at 12:01 a.m. Thursday. Many Instagram users have started using Wrapped for Instagram, an app meant to show users who is viewing their profiles. While users were expected to use the app, more people have become concerned with privacy as the app required users to insert their login information. People have taken to social media to voice their concerns, and a Meta spokesperson has stated that the app violated Meta's policies. The app is not affiliated with Instagram and has been removed from the Apple App Store. The Austin Studio Tour, a tour to honor artists across Austin and their work, is taking place across 3 weekends in November. PrimeTime reporter Kimberly Andrade spoke to several Austin artists in the tour.
Big Medium, a nonprofit organization, hosts the Austin Studio Tour in November during 3 consecutive weekends. The Austin Studio Tour allows people to visit different galleries and studios around Austin to support local artists.
Have you seen any significant difference in the art scene from whenever you were younger to now, or is it pretty much the same, or has it grown?
Well, the studio tour has definitely grown, immensely. And yeah, I would say there's more places, more opportunities to show your work. It's an opportunity to show parts of myself that otherwise couldn't be seen, because it's all inside, and so you take it out and put it out so that the world can see it and be part of it as well.
Yeah, we work with Texas artists, all artists with disabilities or seniors or veterans, so kind of underserved populations.
You've been a part of the studio tour, the Austin Studio Tour?
Off and on for many years in different capacities. As an individual artist, I've had my own studio tour at my house. I've organized this since I've worked at Art Spark, Texas for 21 years, so we've done it here several times.
More.
I feel like it's grown. I mean, definitely the studio tour has grown. I mean, I don't know how many stops there are, at least 500, and started with just a few dozen. And, the art scene in Austin has definitely grown with that. I mean, we have big studio spaces like Canopy now, and just so many opportunities for artists.
There is an ever-growing community of artists in Austin, and they each have something to say through their artwork. The Austin Studio Tour allows us to appreciate their creativity and work, and their last showcase will be this Sunday, November 19th, so be sure to go out and support our local artist community. Until next time, I'm Kimberly Andrade with TSTV News.
Joining us now with the latest headlines from across the globe for Primetime World is Trent Lamb. Trent?
The Pope has signed off on new doctrines furthering transgender rights within the Catholic Church. Pope Francis approved the answers to LGBTQ+ issues within the Church from the Dicastery of the Doctrine of the Faith Department. The answers stated that transgender people could be godparents, be witnesses at church weddings, and receive baptisms themselves. This comes as a synod of synodality, Primetime covered 2 weeks ago, saw little strides towards LGBTQ+ rights within the Church. U.S. Secretary of State and Defense Antony Blinken and Lloyd Austin respectively met with their Indian counterparts to reaffirm security ties. The meeting in New Delhi last week showed unity during the war in Ukraine and the Israel-Hamas war. The two sides discussed the ongoing war in the Middle East, reaffirming their stance with Israel and over their Indo-Pacific partnership. The meeting comes as India and close U.S. ally Canada have been in ongoing disputes since Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau accused the Indian government in a Sikh nationalist killing. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky confirmed Monday that Ukrainian forces destroyed a Russian warship. Askold, a Russian cruise missile carrier, was destroyed in a shipyard within Russian-occupied Crimea. Russia confirmed the attack, only stating that a ship was damaged. The successful attack comes after mounting efforts in the Black Sea have made gains for the Ukrainian military.
When we come back, Campbell Choate from Sports will join us to discuss the narrow win Texas earned over TCU in football, plus updates in Texas men's and women's basketball for Press Box on Primetime. We'll be right back.
Thirteen of the 48 club sports offered by the university now require students to submit proof of sex assigned at birth.
I know deep down they would probably want to stay with the university.
No way in hell anybody's going to tell my daughters what to do with their bodies.
This state is one of the worst in child education.
We can't take it anymore seeing those scenes.
Going to Hillel on Friday night, all my family members kept texting me not to go.
There's a huge housing crisis in Austin. Do you have a plan in place to address this issue?
Determined to start your day well? We're up bright and early. From the enriching local stories to the weather forecast later in the day. Rain or shine, at Good Morning Longhorns, we got you covered. Comprised of a studious reporting staff going lengths to get that scoop, and a talented technical team to enhance your screen visually. As a fellow Longhorn, your mornings are better with us. So start your day the Vivo way. Good Morning Longhorns, Wednesdays at 7 a.m. Central Time on TSTV.
Welcome back. Joining us again for Press Box on Primetime is Campbell Choate. Campbell, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank y'all for having me again.
What should have been a high-scoring game for Texas was not. Recap the Texas versus TCU game and what led to a one-possession game.
Texas played TCU this Saturday in Fort Worth at 6:30. QB Quinn Ewers made his first game appearance after he suffered a shoulder injury in the game against U of H. Texas was predicted to really go in on TCU, but this just didn't happen. The first possession of the game is usually very telling, and Texas failed to score on this first drive or the next ones. TCU was the first to put up points with a field goal scored in the first quarter. Texas followed with a touchdown from Jonathan Brooks, and he ended up scoring again with a 22-yard touchdown in the second quarter. Brooks led the game with an injury. Brooks has done a great job of replacing former running back Bijan Robinson, but unfortunately will not be returning this season after he tore his ACL. At the beginning of the season, it seemed like Texas ended their reputation as a team that's only aggressive in the first half of the game. We saw the opposite of that in Saturday's game as TCU outscored Texas in the second half. Defense did a great job of forcing the offense to try to go for a touchdown on fourth down, and this was successful and unsuccessful at times. But Texas did end up winning 29-26.
Both the men's and women's basketball team are ranked in the top 25, with the men's team at 18th and the women's team at 13th. How did both teams do in their games this past week?
Starting with the men's team, Texas hosted Incarnate Word on Monday and Delaware State on Friday. While Texas won both games, they were closer than anticipated. On Monday's game, Ithiel Horton led the team with 17 points scored. Texas ended up winning 88-56. On Friday, Max Abmas had a team high of 19 points and Dylan Mitchell added a double-double. Mitchell scored 14 points and recorded 11 rebounds. They won 86-59. As for the women's team, Texas hosted Southern University on Wednesday and Liberty yesterday. Against Southern University, senior Taylor Jones led the team with 19 points and also had 12 rebounds. Amina Muhammad recorded her first double-double with 14 points and 14 rebounds. Texas won 80-35. As for Sunday's game, Texas won 75-57. Texas never trailed Liberty, and in the third quarter, the Longhorns forced 14 turnovers. The next women's game is on Tuesday against UT Arlington, and the men's team will play Rice Wednesday.
The NFL is officially in Week 10 of 18. How did Texas teams do this week?
The Texans played the Bengals yesterday at noon, and the Cowboys hosted the Giants in Arlington. The Texans won 30-27. Devin Singletary had one touchdown and rushed a total of 150 yards. QB C.J. Stroud has been the one to look at this season, and he threw 356 yards. As for the Cowboys, they beat the Giants 49-17. Dak Prescott threw 4 touchdowns and 404 yards, and CeeDee Lamb had 2 touchdowns.
Thank you for your insight, Campbell. Coming up, the 2024 Grammy nominations were announced this week, and more from entertainment from reporter Nicole Vargas and Kate Gomez. We'll be right back.
13 of the 48 club sports offered by the university now require students to submit proof of sex assigned at birth.
I know deep down they would probably want to stay with the university.
No way in hell anybody's going to tell my daughters what to do with their bodies.
This state is one of the worst in child education.
We can't take it anymore seeing those scenes.
Going to Hillel on Friday night, all my family members kept texting me not to go.
There's a huge housing crisis in Austin. Do you have a plan in place to address this issue?
Determined to start your day well? We're up bright and early. From the enriching local stories to the weather forecast later in the day. Rain or shine, at Good Morning Longhorns, we got you covered. Comprised of a studious reporting staff going lengths to get that scoop, and a talented technical team to enhance your screen visually. As a fellow Longhorn, your mornings are better with us. So start your day the Vivo way. Good Morning Longhorns, Wednesdays at 7 a.m. Central Time on TSTV.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Gomez, and welcome back to Primetime. Joining us for entertainment tonight, we have Nicole Vargas. Welcome on.
Thank you.
So, what's going on in the entertainment section, Nicole?
Actress Keke Palmer has accused ex-boyfriend Darius Jackson of emotional and physical abuse. Palmer has filed for and been granted a temporary restraining order against Jackson after alleging various forms of physical abuse from him, even releasing home security footage as proof of the claims. Along with the restraining order, Palmer has also been granted temporary sole custody of their son, Leo, with no visitation rights for Jackson. Jackson denies the claims from Palmer. This is all so heartbreaking. Are you a fan of Keke Palmer's?
I mean, yeah, I am. That's why it's so disheartening to hear everything that she's going through right now. I mean, obviously, I knew her from True Jackson VP, so like since I was like a child, so this is just like awful news to hear.
Yes, I agree. I really do wish the best for her and their son. Artists, albums, and songs competing for trophies at the 66th Grammys have been released. SZA is the top nominee with 9 nominations coming from her album SOS. She leads a group of competitors that includes Billie Eilish, Taylor Swift, and Olivia Rodrigo. All 3 of these artists each have 6 nominations. The show will take place on February 4th at Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles.
Yep. Who are you hoping wins a Grammy?
You know, I love SZA with all of my heart, so, I mean, not to be greedy, but I hope she wins all of her 9 nominations. What about you?
Boy Genius. Yeah, I'm gonna go Boy Genius. I liked Lana's album, but probably Boy Genius probably on the top of my list.
Boy Genius definitely deserves their nominations.
Good record. The record.
The theme for the 2024 Met Gala has been released. The theme is Sleeping Beauty's Reawakening Fashion and is meant to highlight historical articles of clothing from the Metropolitan Museum of Art's Costume Institute that cannot be worn again. The exhibition itself is expected to feature 50 of these historical garments, and we will see how the celebrities take to the red carpet on May 6, 2024. Who are you most excited to see at the Met Gala?
Definitely Lewis Hamilton. Hoping there will be more F1 drivers this year. Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, and what do you think of the theme?
I think that it's a really interesting theme. People have stated that they believe it might be because of Kim Kardashian's Marilyn Monroe moment, wearing clothing that can't be worn again. But I'm definitely excited to see how celebrities take that to the carpet.
I saw that. Old fashion's always interesting and always coming back.
Yes.
So that's your Monday briefing. I'm Kate Gomez. From all of us at TSTV News, thank you for watching. At 9:45 p.m. we have our pilot episode of Tower Talks, so stay tuned. Now go out and change your world.